I saw this. I don't know how truthful this is. The Ukrainian Mercs and Spanish and German Mercs are in Gaza now. I saw this. Where did I think maybe even NPR briefly covered. I think NPR briefly covered it as well. That there are definitely foreign troops, but they're there specifically to like work on the back end and not on the front lines. New IOF recruits? What? Oh yeah, I saw Deborah Messing. Lee Kern and I had the opportunity to see the huge Hamas tunnel that was reported about last week. I'm speechless. Like, damn, dude. It's kind of crazy that this is the lineup you got. What is this? Let's see. Foreign fighters are observed.
Аж хрустнуло. Я тебе клянусь, братан, булыжником, блядь, нахуй.
Я видел.
I saw this video. I don't know how credible this is. I don't know.
Ты видел хуйню?
Да.
Ох, ебать. Ух, нихуя.
Ты хочешь пойдем посмотрим?
Да нахуй нормально.
И прямо нихуя прилетело.
Блядь, хорошо, что в шлеме, блядь.
Чё?
Bro, Tarkov has broken my brain permanently. As soon as I hear someone speaking Russian, Ukrainian, whatever, I'm like, oh, dude, at Tarkov. Like, okay. Oh, scabs. Scabs.
Блядь, прилетело, конечно.
Like, this literally is when you get shot in Tarkov.
Я тебе клянусь, братан,
Чики,
булыжником,
блядь, сука, блядь.
Видел хуйню?
Да.
Ох, ебать. Ух, нихуя.
Ты хочешь пойдем посмотрим?
Да нахуй нормально.
The thing is, like, I don't know why people are like, oh, bro, these are definitely Ukrainian mercenaries or whatever. When there's a shit ton of Russian Jews straight out of Russia that have Israeli citizenship.
И прямо нихуя прилетело.
Блядь, хорошо, что в шлеме, блядь.
Чё?
Блядь, прилетело, конечно.
And Ukrainians too, but
Нормально.
Ебать тебе не повезло, братан. Ну там летела какая-то хуйня.
is Russian not Ukrainian language?
Больно.
I mean, I think this dude literally, yeah, I think these are just, I don't know if these are like mercs or anything. I think they're just Russian Jews in the IDF. Isn't that literally, doesn't he have a Star of David patch right there? Am I crazy? Let's be honest, those languages are the same. Sir, I am not going to say that. Even though I think that, I'm not going to say that. And I think that because I'm obviously a idiot, for the record. It's like Azerbaijani Turkish and Turkish is different. Like, I don't know the minutia. I will never be able to spot the difference between Russian and Ukrainian. I can't. I haven't watched enough r/combat footage to know the difference, okay? That's why I don't do the anti-Russian racism either, because accidentally I'm going to call Ukrainian soldiers orcs because I'm across the board like, oh, this is the same. So I don't do that. For that reason. The point is, I don't know why people are immediately like, oh, dude, these are Ukrainian Mercs. And it's like, I don't know if you know that for a fact. I don't know where that's coming from. Credible source told me that hundreds of mercenaries arrived in Israel, mostly French, German, Italian, this week, may be given honorary citizenship. Now we have visual confirmation of my news story of foreign mercenaries fighting alongside IDF in Gaza. A Ukrainian mercenary writes in Ukrainian to his mother that he's in Gaza. Companies from Belgium and Italy are providing the most mercenaries. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how fucking valid this is. I'll be honest. He's a Pakistan Daily Times guy, but I don't know. What? Can you tell the difference now? Listen to the difference between Ukrainian and Russian.
Живу в Києві. Я живу у Києві. Мені 23
Oh, this video's breaking, dude.
года. Мені 23 роки. Що ти сьогодні делаєш? Що ти сьогодні робиш? Мені
Yeah, bro, if you think that these two things to my ape ears sounds any different, like I get it, there's minutia, but it's all the same, like, как дела, как тебя зовут? It literally sounds like the minute difference between like someone, as someone in the chat said, is like the difference between a Bostonian accent and a Texan accent. Like, oh, suka bliat versus suke Affiliate. Like, okay. No, it is not, dude. Come on. Dude, I know it's different. I know it's different. You're just not going to be able to convince me of that because of how different across the board that sounds phonetically than anything I've ever heard or am used to. That's my point. And the argument I give you is literally like the difference between Azeri Turkish and Turkish Turkish. Turkish people can't understand Azerbaijan Turkish. We can't understand it. It's very hard to understand, like almost impossible. People in Azerbaijan, on the other hand, can understand Turkish, like completely. Dog shit take us on. Oh my God, I'm gonna lose my mind. Just because you know doesn't mean people can't know. That's not what I'm saying! That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying there's no difference. I'm saying there are differences, but because this language is so different to me, it is virtually impossible for me to pick up on the differences. I even gave you literally a example from Turkish. People are so primed to be like, dude, you're doing anti-Ukrainian racism, dude. That like people lose their minds. This is why EU will never give Turkey the pass. Yeah, that's why. Literally linguist. I literally lived in Russia for 8 years. I certify you as correct. They are very similar, and it's very reasonable that you can't recognize which is which. Yeah, well, you lived in Russia, so obviously you're an orc, and also you want the the complete full-blown elimination of Ukraine, and that's why you're saying that. Just like I am, because we're both secretly orcs who love bloody poo. You know 8 to 9 is the Black Crime Hour on Fox News. I laugh, but it's the truth. They literally do that. They actually do that. Breitbart, back when Ben Shapiro used to write for Breitbart, they had a black crime tab. Like you could go to a story. You know how when you go on Hub and underneath, it'll be like big tits, big ass, right? And you can click on it and be like, oh, this is my interest. Like click. And then it shows you all the big tit stuff. Like there's a category specifically for black crime when you go to Breitbart and it's like black teenagers, scariest monsters America has ever faced, ? And then you're like, oh, wow, show me more of this kind of stories. Click black crime. And then it's all like crime in general, just black crime. Do a great job of ensuring that the only boats that they're targeting are the ones going into Israel. I think their goal is to disrupt commerce in the Red Sea in general. All boats, unless they are giving aid to Gaza, anyone who's aligned with Israel is a target. I mean, Norway is kind of funny because like they're one of the few countries in the Western world that don't immediately fucking align with Israel. Of course, all Western countries do at the end of the day, but like Norway is one of those unique countries that's like weirdly kind of pro-Palestine. Ireland is the obvious one, right? Norway is another country that's like surprisingly, Norway doesn't even classify Hamas as a terrorist organization. Sweden back in the day was definitely pro-Palestinian as well. Shit, in the UN votes criticizing Israel are a lot of them, like 140 to 10, with other Western countries abstaining. America is still uniquely a simp for them. Yes.
Concerns about a wider regional war are also being sparked by Israel's clashes with the militant group Hezbollah, which is also backed by Iran. Our foreign correspondent Britt Clinnett is on the scene in Israel for us. Good morning, Britt.
Good morning, Robin. Yeah, fears of another front and a wider war, despite Defence Secretary Austin's visit here to cool the temperature. Video showing the moment of a suspected Israeli strike on a building yards away from where a funeral was being held for a Hezbollah soldier. The Iran-backed group saying it retaliated to this with rockets towards Israel's Kiryat Shimona.
I'm sorry, that is such classic behavior.
This is really part of daily exchanges of fire between the IDF and Hezbollah. And an IDF spokesperson, Jonathan Conricus, saying we are closer to war with Hezbollah today than we were yesterday. Now, our team witnessed the...
It's kind of weird to say stuff like that when you're like, no, we are going to open up a second front when like, bro, you haven't even been able to clear Gaza. What are you doing? I don't know what the they're thinking. I don't know how much America has promised Israel their unconditional support, but it makes no fucking sense to just be like, I know we haven't even been able to clear northern Gaza, but like we're now going to go into war with, open up a new front on our own is crazy.
Back and forth tensions firsthand, incoming fire from Lebanon forcing us to take shelter. This was just minutes after we heard shelling from the Israeli side too. A soldier at the border there telling me he doesn't want to push forward, but that he's ready when the order comes. US officials are pushing for a negotiated solution to this, but Israel's Defense Minister Gallant saying if diplomacy fails.
Like one of the aspects of the Israeli economy that's like permanently now is they still heavily relied on Palestinian labor as well. And like now when you don't have work permits with the Palestinians because you're like they're all terrorists and shit, all of a sudden like how the fuck are you going to build new projects? Like then you have the Red Sea blockade implemented by the Houthis, and all of a sudden like your commerce is freezing, right? Things are getting more expensive. You're going to start feeling the heat. Beyond that, you have a shit ton of reservists that you have to pay. You have to feed them. You not only have to arm them, but you also literally have to do all the things that a standing military does. That shit is really expensive. I think the Israeli government is trying to get warlocked to prevent their ousting of the elections next month. After the elections, everyone in power is going to get clapped. The only reason is that Israel's doing what they are doing is America. Wait, what? No. Israel is not America at the end of the day. They don't have the same. Even America can't keep up supplying all the fronts that we have opened up, all the proxy wars that we're engaged with. That's why they're pulling support to a certain degree from Ukraine. And our entire economy is geared towards perma-war in general. Maybe not to the same degree as like World War II war economy. However, it's something that we're supposed to ostensibly handle, and yet we are still having a hard time handling it or managing it the way that we want to. The minute America stops holding their hand, Iran would flatten them. No, I think the minute America stops holding their hand, they're making they're meeting the demands immediately of whoever the fuck is saying like ceasefire now.
Fails, Israel won't hesitate to act. Michael.
All right, thank you so much for that, Britt.